you are good to open your music to page number 5. I'm going to be looking at the bottom of the page, starting in measure 30. And measure 30 at the bottom of that page is where it says, but sometimes it goes up into the next page, in this suffering and hopeless despair, okay? We're going to be writing in our solfege for measures 30 through 46. So that's a good chunk. Who is going to be singing the top part? Oh,
I can sing.
ooh, and yeah, and then you can sing the bottom part. Okay. And so if you'll just write in the solfege, you just need to write it in for your part. You're going to be starting in measure 30, but sometimes on page 5, and then going all the way through the measure 46 of page 7. And I'm going to play that for you some so you can hear it while we're working on this. How are we doing? Good? Okay, we're going to start. Blake, can you start us off with measure 30, so starting at but and go all the way through where it says despair on your part?
Yes. Just the syllables.
Yes, that'd be great.
Do, re, mi, so, fi, re, do, re, so, mi.
Yes, good. So you have fi. So when you sing that, you're just going to be moving a half step down from slow, right? So mi, so, fi, re. Okay? We'll work that when we get to Elaine. Would you be ready to start us off from 30 through 34, the same section as Blake, just on the top part?
Yes. Do, ti, do.
Mm-hmm.
La, sol, fi,
Yes.
re. Do, ti, sol, mi.
Yes, very good. Dr. Soya, could you start us at 34 at My Heart Cries Out for Shelter and go all the way to Know Someone's There?
Mi, so, la, fa, mi, re, so, mi.
Great. All right. And Blake, would you be willing to do measure 34, My Heart Cries, all the way to There?
Sure. Mi, re, di,
Yes.
la, mi, fa, re, do, ti, re, do.
All right, good. And what was that special solfege syllable you had?
The D on E.
Yes, on E natural, right? So it's going to be mi, re, di, and then jumping down. Okay, good. All right. Any volunteers for a voice rises all the way through my child on the top of the next page for the top part. Go for it, Elaine.
Do, do, ti, do.
Uh-huh.
La, sol.
Yes.
Sol, fi, re, re. Do, ti, ti, sol, mi.
Great job. All right, and for the bottom part from 38 through 41.
Let's see. Do, re, mi.
Uh-huh.
Mi, so, fi.
Good.
Re, re, so, mi.
Yes, excellent. You're being put on the spot for all those bottom parts. Holding the line. Okay, going from measure 42 through 46, any volunteers for the top part?
Mi, so, la, fa, so, la, so.
Yes, excellent. All good? Okay, and anybody who would like to finish that, the bottom part is welcome to.
Mi, re, di, la, re, fa, no, mi, fa, re, la, re, do, ti.
Yes, good catch. All right, does everybody have that written in or have you're ready to go? Yes? Good, awesome. Okay, so let's look at this and see what measures are you singing different notes on. I'm going to start us off in measure 31. We're singing different notes, all 4 beats, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about measure 32?
We have the same.
Yes, good. Measure 33.
Some are the same.
Right? At the very end, we have the same pitch, right?
No.
Okay, so we're kind of going back and forth between whether we have harmonies or not. And then we get down to measure 35. What's happening in measure 35?
We start together, and then part 1 goes up, and then we split off again.
Yes, so we have different harmonies. What else is different between the parts in that measure?
We have different rhythms.
Yes, very good, right? Okay, so let's see if we can tackle some of those different rhythms first. The lower part, if you'll snap your rhythms. The top part, if you'll clap your rhythms. And let's start at measure 34, where it says my. So we're going to be starting on beat 4 and go through there in 38. Okay, and let's all, I'm going to clap the steady beat for you. Let's all start just by clapping the top part, okay? And make sure that we can all do that rhythm, all right? So I'll count you off with 4 and then another 3, and you'll be coming in on beat 4. Is that click for everybody? Good? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yes, how do we feel? Good? Okay. All right, let's do the bottom part. It looks a little bit easier. I'm going to count you off, and you can come in on beat 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. How do we feel about that one? Okay. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to count 4 beats, and then you can clap or snap for me on that part, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Good. Okay. So the one rhythm that you have similar, right? That's not a quarter note. It's not a straight chord. It's a quarter note. We have a dotted quarter note, right, in measure 36. And that sounded good. It sounded clean. I told you I'd give you 4 beats and then you could come in. But you were supposed to come in on beat 4 and you did it correctly. So great job on that. All right. And can anybody point out some other measures to me where we have different rhythms other than measure 35?
38, kind of.
Right, yes. So the part 2 is going to be moving on beats 1 and 2, whereas part 1 is just going to be moving on beat 1. Good. And there's one more measure I can find.
43.
Yes, does everybody see that in 43?
It's like the same as in 38, rhythm-wise.
Yes, exactly. Let's talk about that in 38. Let's talk about the text on this. So this is this is a heavy text, right? This is talking about feeling like you're living in suffering and maybe you're a little hopeless, right? And you're looking for a bit of peace, a bit of shelter and some strength, right? But in 38, this is what we have on my part. We have right? That note on cries, D, is kind of not something we'd expect, right? It's D, but it's E natural, right? What is the effect maybe of having one voice move on that part, or how does it sound to you? How does it make you feel? Any thoughts? It doesn't have to be your biggest, best, most educated thought. It could just be an initial feeling on that.
Well, it's kind of gentle sounding.
Yeah,
It
right.
sounds gentle to me.
It's kind of sad sounding.
Ooh, that's good. Let's
What?
explore that some. Yeah, how?
When
Why?
it moves, something moves, and it makes it sound more sad when we move down.
Yes, right. So maybe it's the movement being descending, right? Like
Yeah.
almost when you are crying, right? You're in a lower place emotionally a lot of times. Good. That's a good thought right there. Let's look at another place. Ooh, okay, measure 32 and see if we can make something of that text there. So we're saying, but sometimes in this suffering and hopeless despair. And we start out, we're singing harmonies, and then we switch to unison, right? And then we switch back. Any thoughts on that? It could just be that that's what the composer wanted, right? Yeah? What word do we kind of transition into where everybody's sharing the same part?
Suffering and despair.
Yes.
So maybe it's louder because we're all singing at the same time.
Right, that's good, that's good. So those words will hopefully be clear, right? What's the effect though of those are two dark, like troubled, sad thoughts, and having everybody sing the same thing, right? It's almost like we're all going through the same thing, all doing the same thing right there. Yeah? So maybe a little bit of like emotions spelled out in that in writing that as a unison part. All right, so let's start out, and those of you singing part 1 can follow along. Let's pick a neutral syllable to sing that on. Elaine, what would you like to sing that? Ooh. Ooh? All right, great. So I'll play it for you first, and we're going to start out, and we're just going to go from 30 to 34. So if you listen to it, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right, let's tackle that. I'll give you 3 beats. This is your starting pitch, and you're going to be going all the way from do to what solfege syllable?
T.
Yeah, that's a big leap, right? So we want to make sure we don't undershoot that. Okay? Let's start that. I know it's early, but we're going to give it a shot. I'll give you 3 beats. Good, and pause, listen to this next part. I'm going to go from 30 all the way through, let's go through 38. and we'll call it a day so we can say we've done it, okay? Here's 3 beats, and part 1, remember to anticipate that first lead. Here's 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Jumped ahead just so for part 1 and you still nailed it on grade. Great job.